You're in the kitchen.
Oh, hi, Jared.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to another Kitchen Conversation. Today's Kitchen Conversation is the best ever because we've got a new sponsor. It is Fit Vine Wines.
Two new sponsors.
We got plenty of new sponsors. I'm talking about this one right now. I've got a delicious wine in my hand. I can't tell you how happy I am to have this partnership because this is like a match made in heaven. I get to talk pickleball and indulge in a glass of wine, my two favorite things. I love it. Fit Vine Wines, go check them out. Healthy wines, sugar-free wines. It makes total sense. And when you taste it, you will see that you're not missing anything with all the chemicals and sugars that you're getting with your other wine. So check them out, Fit Vine Wines. We also have Yobow. Yobow is the gun of choice in the kitchen. Check that thing out.
This is a Kitchen Yobow that we have a giveaway currently going for. I think actually this segment will be live in our newsletter tomorrow, and so you will have 24 hours to enter the giveaway. This thing's amazing. It's the most compact massage pistol on the market, and it's glorious. Let me pop up a little Yobow graphic. There it is. And so this segment today is brought to you by Yobow.
Yeah, and because we have a great guest today who is also part of the Yobow family, in Zane Navratil. Zane, welcome to the kitchen. How are you?
What's going on, guys? How are you? I know. So I don't know when this is going to go live, but I think the audience should know for context that we're recording this at 2:30 in the afternoon, and Jason's over there drinking some Fit Vine wine. So just for context.
In all fairness, I'm Eastern time zone. It's 3:30.
Okay.
School's out.
3:30.
School's out. All's fair.
And who knows what Jared has in that water bottle there, too.
I'm getting over a cold. This is Fit Vine wine.
There you go. Perfect. Well, guys, thank you very much for having me, and it's really cool to be part of the Yobow sponsored Kitchen Conversation. Like you guys said, part of the team, and happy to be so.
Zane, it's been a while. I think the last time we had you on a Kitchen Conversations, we did the Zane roast.
Yeah, hopefully this goes better than that.
It was good.
Roasts are tough to pull off, and I think the pickleball talent spends a lot of their time on the court and not behind the mic. And I think we should probably leave the pickleball players to playing pickleball from now on. That's my goal. That's my resolution.
Yeah, don't put a link in the description for that roast.
I will not.
Put it to something else.
So, Zane, how have you been? How are you? What's going on? What's the latest in your world?
Good. I'm doing well. Jenny and I moved over to Austin, Texas at the beginning of July. Haven't gotten to spend as much time as I would like here, but yeah, enjoying it, getting some good practice, fun place to be. And we were able to meet up and film some morning minutes. So yeah, excited to be here. Everything's going pretty well for me, and just happy to be playing pickleball and not auditing. So that's good.
And Jen is done with her reign as Miss Wisconsin. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So she gave up her title as Miss Wisconsin at the end of June. We pretty quickly moved out at the beginning of July, and now Jenny works for the corporate headquarters of Kendra Scott, which is located here in Austin. Yeah. Yep. So she's liking it as well.
Excellent. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to Texas.
Hey, thank you.
So the big news, I guess, I want to jump into for you, for me as a spin serve. Maybe we have the best two spin serves in the whole world. I don't know. I'm not saying It could be.
That's 1-2.
That's 1-2 right here. I'm not going to say who's one and who's two. We don't need to get in that debate.
Yeah, no, that'd be embarrassing.
I've played both of you, I can tell you, but I also won't share that.
I have lots of video of you being aced, but I won't talk about that either. Anyway, Zane, it looks like we're going to be out of luck here with the spin serve going away in 2023 if the board approves what is suggested by the rules committee. So it's pretty likely that we're not going to see the spin serve. What does that do to your game? What is your approach moving forward? And tell me what I need to do.
Yeah, well, So yeah, basically what's happened is the rules committee has voted in favor of a rule change to get rid of intentional spin put on the toss while you're serving. From what I understand, it's very, very unlikely that the USA Pickleball Board of Directors will not agree with the rules committee, because the rules committee isn't the final say, but they very frequently align with them. So it does look like spin serves are going to be gone for 2023. I have my own opinions, but look, it's one shot in a rally. Like, I like to think that I'm a decent enough player outside of that one shot. I do think it's a little bit unfortunate for a wide variety of reasons, but I'm still going to love this game, and I'm probably not going to quit. So
what percentage of your the points that you win, I don't know if you've ever done any sort of analysis on this, were from based on the serve, either as not an ace, but like a serve that wasn't able to be returned, or set you up to win the point, if you had to guess?
yeah, well, I mean, setting me up to win the point is a very difficult thing to measure. I definitely have measured like what percent of unreturned serves, and against what I would call like, competent opponents, meaning players who are regularly playing the pro tour, it's pretty much returned to a normal error rate of about 10%, 8 to 10% in for returns of serve, which is, again, I did this whole study last year. That's pretty
90% of the time. 90% of the time.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, which is standard, right? Like, so it's kind of returned to the normal. That's before any spin serves. 90% in singles was pretty much the norm, and that comes from the data that I collected last year, where we had volunteers watch hundreds and hundreds of matches, thousands of match hours, and we collected that data. So, I mean, it's not generating a tremendous amount of errors as people continue to see it more and more. However, it is generating shorter, easier returns, which is, that's not easily measurable,
Right.
but definitely
Well,
factors in.
and that's the benefit of it, right? It's really not to get the ace. That's a nice byproduct, but it's really to set yourself up so they can't return it deep and aggressively, and therefore your third becomes a lot easier. It could be a drive, it could be a drop. You're in control, not on the defensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's all about setting up that next shot, and hopefully getting into the kitchen in doubles, or setting up an easier passing shot in singles. But
Yep.
I guess the issue that I have with the decision is some of the logic that they used in doing so. The rules committee, I have it pulled up right now, but one of the reasons that they give for eliminating the spin serve is that only a limited number of players have mastered this, giving them an unfair advantage. Which
That's a ridiculous excuse.
that's some of the worst sports logic I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everything that we're doing in sports is trying to give ourselves an advantage. And, to say that this one is unfair versus what? Deckel's serve that he can pound 1,000,000 miles per hour compared to mine? Well, why isn't that unfair?
And is almost 6'4" and has a height advantage, right? So there's leverage that he has that shorter players don't have. And I always go back to the argument that, people will say, oh, but smaller hands can't spin the ball as easily, which is just not true, because you have Georgia Johnson, a 15-year-old girl, who can spin it as well as anybody. And
We don't know her hand size, though.
I've seen her hand size.
I can tell you, Morgan does not have enormous hands, and he can snap that ball better than anybody. Morgan Evans being the one who created this.
Morgan has girly hands. Is that?
You can
heard it here first. You heard
Morgan
it here
has
first.
girly hands.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
It's going to be the only thing that's cut out of this entire thing. It's going to be a 4-second minute clip. Morgan Evans, girly hands.
I'm into it.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what every athlete in every sport is trying to do, is to get themselves an advantage. And I think that logic is a little bit dicey there, But
the other one was the court size. They're talking about building facilities that are too narrow on the sidelines, and therefore people were running into barriers or obstacles or running into each other. Which, I mean, I just played a PPA event the other day, and there was no more than like 2 feet between courts, which was ridiculous. And I was definitely running people into the fence into the other court.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I
is that fair though? Like, is that what we want? I don't know. I mean, I guess that, it's a byproduct of, these tournaments need to have better, court space. But I mean, I don't know. It feels like if you go to like a basketball court, everybody is playing on the same court. You don't have those restrictions. Whereas in pickleball, unfortunately at this time you do. So does that kind of play in favor to it being banned?
So USA Pickleball publishes what they believe are ideal court dimensions, including the space behind. I don't know what those numbers are exactly, but when places are using USA Pickleball size courts, it shouldn't be a problem to return this serve. And if they're not using USA Pickleball court size recommendations, like it's tough to return regular serves, hard serves, deep serves. So I mean, I think
when
problem.
they did away with the 2-hand, they should have either you allow people to use their hands to serve the way they want to serve, or you don't allow spin. Like, and maybe I'm just saying that because I had a 2-handed spin serve and I can't do a 1-handed. But it feels like you either allow a spin serve or you just don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that the next step for this is, seeing as the spin serve is now gone, I am a big proponent of drop serve only, because the way that the current rule is written, all 3 aspects of the serve rule are up for interpretation in real time by a referee, meaning your paddle has to be going in a 1 degree upwards motion at the point of contact. It needs to be below your waist, which is interpreted by many as the belly button, and the top part of your paddle can't be above the level of your wrist. All 3 of which are impossible to tell even in slow motion as you're rewinding something. There's absolutely no way to police the serve. So, and also, if you serve from your shoulder, it's just a redo, because at this point, the referees can't reasonably say whether it's legal or illegal. So I think we need to go to drop serve only at this point, because that's the only way that you can actually enforce these serve rules.
What's next? I mean, you're obviously someone who looks for the opportunity and sees the rules and sees where you can exploit things, and not in any negative way, like within the rules. And I feel some kindred spirit like that. I'm always trying to figure out what's next. What can I do? I'd love to hear your thoughts on where you think the next spin serve essentially is going to be. What's the thing to look out for? What could I be practicing for? Being that there's no spin.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a deeper look at some of these new rules, maybe the old rules. Yeah, we'll see.
Lobs.
Lots
of lobs. Jason said it.
I revolutionized the game.
He revolutionized the game with his lobs.
There we go. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you, but if I did,
could it be warm-ups? Could it be recovery tools? Could it be the Yobow?
Wow, that's seamless, Jared. That is impressive.
I mean,
I guess paid the big bucks,
right?
Exactly.
Could it be the kitchen? Have you tried the kitchen Yobow yet?
No, that's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna have to talk to David. I would love a little ZN Yobow there. That'd be pretty sick.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you wanted a kitchen Yobow, but
okay. Oh no. Maybe that would be nice too, though. But
yeah, it's cool.
Zane, how did you end up working with David over at Yobow, and how did that relationship come about?
And David is David Wells. He's the founder of Yobow, so everyone is well aware.
Very good pickleball player.
Yeah. So I was in Milwaukee. David lives in one of the Chicago suburbs, and he kind of just hit me up for a lesson one time, and we got to talking, and basically I was with a competitor in the same space, but he and I decided, like, hey, whenever that comes to whenever that sort of finishes up, I'd love to have you as part of the Yobow team. And I'm a big believer in warm up and preparation and taking care of your body. I think most people who know me know that I'm usually the first one to the courts, unless I'm playing with Altaf, because Altaf will be there about 15 minutes before me. But I'm huge on warm up because this sport is really brutal for injuries at all levels. People see it as a low impact sport, but when you're starting out, or if you haven't done something super athletic in a little bit of time, sport can kick your butt. So I'm definitely out there using the Yobow band. I have one of them over here. I'll use this adjustable band to warm up my hips before I start, because pickleball is really tough on the hips, ankles, knees. So I'll get some of those little muscles fired up, as well as using the massage pistol to get to some places that are tough to get to. So
And we're giving away 10 pistols, 10 bands, and 3 signed Zane paddles tomorrow in the kitchen. If anyone is interested in winning one. Sorry.
Pretty good.
It's gonna be legendary.
Huge.
So yeah, I mean, at my clinics, really, we go through, and anybody who's been in one of my clinics know, we spend the first 15, 20 minutes doing an on-court warm-up and discussing, an off-court warm-up so that you don't come out and get hurt. Because not only is it going to help you with those injuries, it's also going to help you with some of those chronic injuries where you don't warm up well and you tweak your hip a little bit and then it just keeps getting worse and worse. So yeah, got to warm up, got to use the band, got to get into those tough spots with the massage pistol as well.
Zane, when is your next tournament?
I am playing the PPA Las Vegas tournament in about, that's the beginning of October.
Yeah, so I just saw there's 73 entrants for the men's singles professional division.
Damn.
That's long
crazy.
day. That's going to be a long day.
I think they have a qualification process, but I haven't been to one in a little bit, so I wouldn't know.
So let's talk about that. You typically play APP events. You're not all the ways, but in fact, I'd say pretty infrequently you're playing PPA events. How many PPA events do you play a year? 4 or 5, something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. Last year I played a decent chunk of them. I don't know. I probably played like 7, 8 last year, maybe. Okay. But this year I've definitely. This is going to be the one and only PPA event that I play this year. I like Las Vegas. I like that, and I don't have issues with the PPA. I just I have a lot tied with APP. And I decided I didn't want to sign a contract that limits what I can and cannot do. So basically, since I didn't sign an exclusivity contract with the PPA, I have to pay entry fees, as well as I don't get a stipend to show up, as well as the PPA doesn't pay out singles nearly as well as the APP does. And then finally, I am running APP Academy, which is large scale pickleball clinics the Monday after every APP event. So, pickleball being a business for me, it's a large difference between playing an APP and a PPA for me financially.
Got it. Will we see more PPA next year, or is that pretty much just we're seeing you migrate over to APP and that will be that?
Unless something changes, probably not more at the PPA. But pickleball changes every couple weeks, so yeah, that's just how I'm rolling these days.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 73, there's so many new names coming to the sport. Who are you keeping an eye out for? Who's on your radar as people that could be at the top?
Well, I don't know who the 73 are, but there are plenty of
players. I thought of that right as you were about to say that as well.
Up and coming players. I mean, I really think that that James Ignatowicz is going to be pretty nasty. He already is nasty, but I mean, he's fast, he's tall, and he's got quick hands. Federico's playing really well. Again, I don't know if he's in this tournament or not. I haven't looked. And then there's always, JW, Ben, Tyson, Dylan's playing phenomenally. I mean, the singles game is getting really, really deep at this point, and we're going to look back at this point a couple years from now, and this quote won't age well because it's only going to continue to get deeper and deeper, these fields.
Yeah, I feel like every day we see a new name pop up that I had never heard of, and they're making runs at tournaments. It's exciting. I think it's great for the sport, and it's bringing in new styles and forcing everybody to be on their toes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's good for the game. It keeps things interesting. That's for sure.
So what else? What else is on the horizon for you? You mentioned that the sport is changing quickly, and I tend to agree. I think it's aging, both Jason and I, if you see by our beards. What's next for you beyond the academy and playing? Anything else that's exciting that you want to touch on?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited with the teaching that I do with APP Academy. I really like to do that and also create content. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm only going to continue doing that because I enjoy creating and helping people in that regard. APP just released their schedule. I think it'll be interesting to see what PPA and MLP does. And I'm also on a couple of councils and boards that I think are going to shape some of the direction of pickleball. I'm on APP's player council as well as Major League Pickleball's board of directors, and it's a pretty cool position to be in as somebody who's 26 and dealing with some very, very smart people with MLP board of directors, and really kind of shaping what this sport is becoming. And it's still in its infancy, so there's so much opportunity, so much going on, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Zane, do you want to make an announcement about any MLP news that you know about?
Yeah. Let me just disclose some of the confidential stuff.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah,
you're in a safe place. Fired. It's fine. Let's go ahead.
I think there's something I think I have a fiduciary duty to not do that at this point.
That's fair. So a question you might be able to answer. So you guys were the 2-time defending champs, and then you made it to the finals in Newport. Where do you see yourself in Columbus?
Oh, we're back on top. Easy. Pencil it in.
You think so?
No, I mean, look, the way that MLP is designed is it's so difficult to stay on top. There are so many times where matches are decided by literally 1 point. And, to be able to be a 2-time champ in a row. I mean, I wasn't part of that first BLQK team that won, but we were very close over in Newport. It's going to be very, very difficult to do. And the fact that we've won one and finished second in another means nothing for this next one. We get a decent enough seed, they split up the top 3 teams into different pools so that we're not in the same pool as the ranchers, but that's really the only thing that it gets us. So it's really just about playing well at the right time, and that's all we can try and do.
And that's coming up in 3 weekends. Do you know, are there any rules changes in the MLP this time? I know that last time they were freezing. I guess we were freezing the rally scoring when someone hit 20, and then it became not until they got to 18. Is anything updated on
that? Probably nothing that would really affect the viewer. Nothing as drastic as that pause at 18. Definitely some discussion around alternate usage, but nothing that's been finalized yet. We're working on that. But yeah, I mean,
And what's your take on rally scoring?
I like rally scoring. I mean, I think it makes everything. I think it makes matches flow faster, and it makes a sense of urgency on every single point. So I like rally scoring. I like it a lot.
I played Steve Kuhn the other day. We did rally scoring, and we played Brooks as well. And it definitely makes every single hit, every shot count more.
100%.
You know, if you miss a serve, it's pretty rough. It's just I think it should bring out the best in players and more focus playing. But it did feel like it was hard to capture momentum. But maybe that's just, because I don't capture momentum well. But.
So Steve kicked your butt is what you're saying here.
No, I think it was actually quite close. And then the last game got cut off, and we were beating them pretty bad. And he was like, "Oh, not an official game." So, but
it's not going into the duper.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of rally scoring. And again, like, look, tennis tweaked their scoring for ages, right? And they're still doing it. Like Wimbledon, it just implemented fifth set tiebreakers. Tennis has been around forever, and they're tweaking their scoring. I think there's no reason whatsoever that pickleball should say this is how it is and we're done. Something that I would love to see experimented with is like smaller sets in pickleball. Like, why not play 3 out of 5 to 7, or 3 out of 5 sets to 7 points?
I think that's actually interesting, because I think taking the emphasis away from the serve, or giving an advantage to the receiver, or even just the flow of the game, right? Like being able to catch up, being able to hold serve, things like that, which I think are so vital to the game, that get lost with rally scoring. But I agree with you. I think a smaller score that solves the quickness problem, and that feels more doable to me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think pickleball's it should be in an experimentation phase. See what works well, see what works doesn't, or what doesn't work well, and adjust from there. Again, the sport started in the 60s, but really has been around. I consider it really being popular for maybe the last 10, 12 years.
Really the last
I think we got to experiment.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
I want to throw one idea, and that before we wrap up, for TV to make it a bit more digestible for people who might not understand the complexities of dinking, a 4 dink maximum before someone has to speed up. Totally serious.
A 4 dink max. I don't know how you would enforce that. I don't know how you would really define a dink.
Once
in the kitchen, if it lands in the kitchen,
all 4 players are at the line. After 4 dinks, someone must attack.
So I'd call that like kind of similar to like a 5-second rule in basketball, right? So that'd be like you can't stand in the lane for 5 seconds. You can't dink.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
You said you were a professional basketball player earlier.
Yeah, don't give away. Don't spoil it.
Right.
They changed the rules.
They
didn't.
it was a 5-second rule for
that one dude dunk. Yeah. See, thank you.
4 dink maximum. You heard it here first. I bet at some point they trial it.
See, I just think you should disincentivize dinking. Like not in that way, but if you continue to let the paddle technology evolve, if you can get more and more spin on the ball with your paddle, I would never dink. All right, I could attack from lower and lower. You can incentivize. You can get. I guess here's another theory as well, but this will probably be the last one for me. I think pickleball needs to police this game, not by the paddles, but by the ball. Like in tennis, when there was a shift in string technology, the balls became a little more dead to counteract it. The referee hands you a ball, right? They can be the one that makes sure that we're using a ball that is approved. It's really, really difficult to test and make sure that every paddle, when there's like thousands of approved paddles, is exactly what is the one model that's approved, as well as legal. I mean, I think it's easier to police the game based on the ball than it is the paddle.
Wow.
That's how tennis does it.
But that would be a pretty significant shift because that ball would feel quite different, I'd imagine, to what we're playing with today.
Well, I mean, like if you let paddle technology do whatever paddle technology was going to do, you would end up creating more powerful and more spinny paddles, right? And so when the paddle becomes more powerful and more spinny, if you want to continue to have dinks, you need to make the ball bounce lower so that it's more difficult to attack.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's very theoretical, but that's my theory.
So we're all going to be playing indoors from now on with indoor balls.
With the same paddle.
Right. Yeah, well, we were talking about that the other day with the paddles.
Same paddle.
Yeah.
One paddle company. Who will it be?
Ooh.
Free for all.
There you go. I'm a paddle monopoly. That'd be interesting. We're almost there, right?
Getting there.
We're getting there.
All right, cool.
All right, Zane. Well, I know you got to go, right? You've got.
I gotta go smack some pickleballs.
All right. Well, good luck in Vegas. Bring your Yobow. We will be cheering you on from our respective cities. Have a glass of Fit Vine if you have a chance, and we hope to see you on the podium.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys very much. Thanks for having me, and thanks to Yobow for putting this all on. Much appreciated.
Thanks for your time.
Fit Vine. All right, take it easy, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you, Zane.